Greetings, I appreciate you joining me as I give some thoughts and questions to close the Book of Boba Fett. The 7th and final chapter starts with Boba and company acknowledging that the war has begun. I found it strange that I was agreeing with the mods when they told Boba, "You can't hide in the palace." That would be essentially abandoning the people of Mos Espa. So the group decides to stick around in the ruins of the sanctuary. The chapter then cuts to Cad Bane meeting with his employers, the Pikes, and the mayor, who was a great new character I really enjoyed. A few things are revealed in this conversation. One is the mayor not giving approval for the first bombing or any others. Also, the leader of the Pikes admits to killing Boba's Tusken tribe, while placing blame on the Nikto speederbike gang. I thoroughly enjoyed how Cad knew he could use the Pike's deception to get in Boba's head. Post-title card, we see Luke's X-Wing being piloted by R2 land in Pelimoto's hangar. This reveal for Grogu's choice felt kinda underwhelming. Regardless, it's pretty obvious Grogu has chosen to follow the way of the Foundling. It's pretty significant for Peli to be the only one besides Luke to find out how Grogu has chosen. Her hangar is now one of my favorite locations on Tatooine. I'm guessing we'll visit again in Mandalorian Season 3. Switching back to the Sanctuary ruins, Fennec Shand is giving the game plan, which is to find out which territory the Pikes are going to attack from. This seems like a sound plan, but their numbers are just not enough. After Chapter 4, I figured Boba had more in mind than just Din Djarin. As Fennec finishes the rundown, Boba is requested to negotiate outside. He is met there by his old bounty hunting rival, the blaster-slinging Cad Bane. There is a sound as Boba exits that is sort of ghostly, signifying he's having a flood of emotions as he sees Cad. The back and forth banter has Boba almost making an emotional decision. I thought Fennec's advice was beneficial to Boba. She speaks from a place of concern and experience. When she bested Cad Bane, it was definitely not in a standoff. Negotiations are terminated between the two sides, as Cad Bane questions Boba's aging strength. The Pikes then reveal their plan B. Surprise, surprise, all the territory leaders of Mos Espa have chosen sides. And I can't blame them. I didn't really see a reason for them to come to Boba's aid. He just threatened them with the Rancor. It seems logical as they said to Boba, they make a lot of money on spice. As Boba's eyes on Mos Espa are quickly blinded, I'm going to point out some things I noticed. The first thing is, how did Gamorrean guards become paid protectors? The more we see of them, the more I question all of the intelligence they have. Please let me know in the comments if you have ever heard of a character that has earned the title Deadliest Gamorrean in the galaxy. I am willing to change my mind if you have evidence. Now I have a little something about the mods. Are you telling me you spent all those credits and you can't deal with a little blaster fire? I guess nobody chose the pop-up energy shields. Maybe a bit too exotic for Tatooine. Moving along to the next victim of the public's betrayal, Black Chrysanthemum. While it was nice to hear what BK's rifle sounded like, it was just as tough to see the Trandoshans get the blades out and pile on BK. I feared he might befall a bounty hunter's death, all alone with no backup. Now with the clear advantage, the Pikes move in on Boba. He and Din are ready to fight to the death. They accept their fate. The music even crescendos, and then the Major Domo pipes up. I was beginning to doubt where this was going, as Boba wrote his terms of surrender. But in the end, it was actually a very beautiful delay tactic by Boba. Almost as beautiful as the poetry read by the Major Domo to the Pikes, giving them the heads up they are dead where they stand. Seeing Din and Boba bring the death from above was a nice slice of Boba Fett visual pie I have been craving. So needless to say, I was enjoying what we got until the Pikes overwhelmed the twosome. The situation seems grim before the people of Freetown join the fight. I had thought after Chapter 6, when Cobb Vanth was gunned down by Cad Bane, that the bartender could possibly know Hondo Ohnaka, which could have led to some reinforcements being sent, but it was just the townsfolk. What they did bring with them is some old outlaw western influence. Also, I cannot go without acknowledging Black Chrysanthemum as he displays the powerful will of a Wookiee warrior, giving it all he's got until helped by Boba back to base. I find it hard to believe that Disney doesn't have plans for BK in upcoming series, because how I see it, he deserves his own little mini story. For example, how did he become to be in the service of the twins? I'm just letting it be known I got mad love for the Wookiees. Here is the point in the chapter where the Wild West gets dialed all the way up. The outnumbered fighters see their enemy retreating and begin to celebrate, only to be surprised by a weapon much more deadly. If this was a Wild West film, the weapon would be, for example, a Gatling gun on a wagon. But this is Star Wars, and the Pikes have deployed 2 Scorpionic droids. I've said this many times for my videos covering this series, but it seems Boba didn't heed my advice when I said, don't be messing with the Pikes. In response to the droids, Boba saddles up and rides his Rancor. While there is no doubt I enjoyed seeing the creature fight more intelligently than a Gamorrean, I couldn't help but feel a sense of unfamiliarity with the Rancor. This is one of my personal criticisms of the series. After being gifted this Rancor by the twins, Boba felt excited to give him a name, plus begin the training to bond. I figured my vision of a training scene was probably too much, but still fun, where Boba is jetpacking around trying to get on the saddle, the Rancor is not having it, tossing him around, Boba is speaking his name, talking dank to him for not cooperating. I knew that was not gonna happen. Just some fun thoughts I had, but I was seriously stunned when we didn't even get a name. I just couldn't root for the Rancor as he destroyed the Pikes as I wanted to. Just imagine as the Rancor proves victorious, Boba saying his name and giving him those good boy pats. How I saw it, this was a massive missed opportunity for the show. Don't get me wrong though, I enjoyed every second of Boba riding his Rancor. While I'm mentioning some criticisms, I might as well get into the part with Grogu and Din. Some strange choices with the reunion, but the part that I had the hardest time with had to be Din falling to the ground helplessly while wearing a jetpack. I'll give baby Grogu his props later, but this battle was Din's to be won in style. Him just laying there with no plan feels inconsistent. We've seen him pull off some spectacular maneuvers in the past. Plus, with his former feelings about droids, it would have been fitting. I can't believe Disney's making me criticize sweet baby Grogu, but I don't want him coming to the rescue to be overplayed. Let me know in the comments if you think my criticisms are fair. The final few moments of Chapter 7 will be added to the many things I have enjoyed about the Book of Boba Fett. Without question, Cad Bane would have already been off-planet had this job involved anybody else besides Boba. Right away, Cad gets the upper hand, knocking Boba from his Rancor. Boba also falls to the ground while equipped with a jetpack, but I give this more leeway because it felt more like falling off your horse. Aside from that, the showdown between Boba and Cad was unbelievable to see in live action. Not having Fennec Shand in his ear to check his emotions, Boba falls into the trap of a duel with Cad Bane. The action and dialogue that follows is handled with the care that we have come to expect from recent Star Wars projects. I can't move on from this sequence without showing major love and appreciation for Boba himself, Temuera Morrison. His return to Star Wars filling the boots of Boba has been praiseworthy in many ways. For example, his effort to be physically fit at his age. I can only dream to look as good as Tem, but I can give an effort to feel as healthy. Anyways, back to the closing chapter's big finish. As the Rancor romps through Mos Espa, I'm guessing this is his first time out in the open by himself. Din Djarin seems to be the only one who understands the creature's emotions. I appreciate his attempt to help the Rancor non-violently, but without the necessary bond, the only thing keeping Din from being eaten is his Beskar. With a look of frustration, the Rancor hurls Din through a wall, knocking him out. I believe this rescue attempt by Grogu to be absolutely necessary, unlike the previous one with the Scorpionic droids. The Force is very strong with baby Grogu. You can tell he is sensing the Rancor's fear and distress in this situation. He is unfortunately very familiar with those feelings. Grogu calms the Rancor into a state of sleep, proving he listened and understands one of Yoda's most important lessons taught to him by Luke: size matters not. What an amazing connection between two species the galaxy has much to learn about. The chapter then moves to Mos Eisley, where Fennec Shand puts an end to this conflict with an exclamation point. Her skills appear to be as sharp as the blade she assassinates the Pike leader with. She wiped them out in a blink of an eye. How do you think Fennec did this? Did she do it by herself, or did she have help? Let me know in the comments if you have any ideas about this. So ending the Book of Boba Fett, the Daimyo is successful in protecting the city, but questions if this lifestyle is going to continue. Does that mean Cobb Vanth is going to replace Boba as Daimyo? That's what I'm thinking could happen given the post-credits scene. The very last thing we see as the final chapter closes is Din with Grogu in the N1 Starfighter, setting up The Mandalorian Season 3, which I'm guessing is going to put quite the ending on 2022 as one of the best years for Star Wars in a very long time. As always, I very much appreciate you stopping by and hope you will for the future projects. Until next time, I wish you a content and healthy life while keeping your Star Wars genes high and tight.